Hey everybody, Ben Bosley here with the Meter Guys, and let me ask you a question. When you pull your meter off your rig, how long do you let that meter sit in that airspace to give you a true sense of what's in the air around you? So there's a little bit of science behind that, and that's called T90. And every manufacturer does a little bit different with that T90, so we have to understand that a little bit in our technology. So that's what we're going to tackle this week on your Meter Minute. All right, so let's get into it. T90, what is it? T90 is what the manufacturers will tell you how long it takes your meter to see a 90% accurate reading of the vapor space or the airspace that you're metering for. Now, the crazy thing is that can be affected wildly by a lot of things, including the technology or the environmental conditions that you're experiencing while you're using your meter. So when we look at our meters, we need to understand that we have two different types, basically, of sensors, right? We have our LEL sensor, our combustible sensor, and then we also have our electrochemical sensors that include the oxygen, your ammonia, your CO, and so forth. So let's break down the sensors and what can affect them. So the first thing we'll talk about is LEL sensor. The industry standard is about 30 seconds. That can vary all the way up to about 2 minutes or so. But across the board, if you're using a LEL sensor, 30 seconds is a good rule of thumb to say, hey, that's going to give me a very close T90 time for a combustible gas. With that being said, if your sensors are filtered, that's going to affect your T90 time. That's going to take how long it goes, that gas to go through that filter and for that meter to see it. Also, we don't always look for gases. We see vapors, and if your meter is filtered, that's going to affect that time. And then we get into our electrochemical sensors. Our electrochemical sensors can vary even more, right? They can go all the way up to a minute on some of them. They can go to a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and even the crazy thing, 3 minutes. 3 minutes for your meter to be able to see a gas. So what affects those? Obviously, is that electrochemical sensor filtered? And then the other thing is temperature. As things slow down, right, as molecules slow down because it gets colder, it takes your meter longer to see things. So a good example, and for all my firefighters out there that are following, understand that one of the sensors that we're probably employing if you have an overhaul SOP is that you're looking for hydrogen cyanide. When it's cold outside, hydrogen cyanide can take up to 3 minutes for you to be able to see it on your sensor. So as you're going through and you're metering, if you're metering for, say 2.5, 3 minutes, just going through, checking the box, you may not be able to see what's truly inside that structure that you're metering for. So at the end of the day, different technologies do it differently. So whether they're weighing, the element, or whether they're burning the gas, or whether you're waiting for the electrochemical to have a reaction inside, you need to know how long it takes it to go through that filter and for it to be able to, for the meter to be able to see what's going on. So here at the Meter Guys, we pride ourselves on knowing every technology that's out there. If you have a question about what your T90 is, put a link in the comments. I'll hit you up. I'll let you know, hey, this is what they're seeing, what they don't see, and then more importantly, for you to know your technology. Because at the end of the day, you need to know your technology, you need to know your meter, you need to know your T90, and you need to know when meters matter. And that's your Meter Minute.